Hello. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Actually, it's not morning. It's not even close to morning. It's 1:30 p.m. and it's later for most of y'all. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello, hello. How y'all doing? How's it going? How's everybody? What's going on? Hello, Hith. Hello, Caitlin. Hello, Kaylee. Woot woot. Happy Friday, everybody. How you doing? Hello, Liz. Hello, Lily. Hi, MZ. Thank you so much. I am live. Hello, hello, Katie. Hello, Jessica. Here you are. Hey. Hello, Kay and Hannah. Millie. Yes, thank you, Kaylee. Hello. I know Italian food today. Yeah, I filmed something earlier, so I just skipped to get ready with me. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Aim. Hello, Kaylin. We're at an Italian restaurant today. Hello, Lizzie. Peyton. Have I ever thought about styling my hair differently? Today actually is a very different style. Hello, Nevea. I saw your DM, by the way. I didn't answer, but I saw. Um, my fringe looks better longer. Thank you. Thank you very much, Celeste. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat, but I typically don't bring anyone up. Yes, ask a question, Abby. Please do, and let me know once you send it. Hello, Luke. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Priv. Hello, Snacks and Evelyn. Hello, Ginny. I'm doing well. How are you? Hello, KC. Oh, that's funny, Irene. Hello, Lacey. Kaylin, I'm so happy to answer your questions here, but I don't bring anyone up. It's kind of just a rule that I keep. Hello, Movie. Hello, Lacey. Carly. How old am I? I'm 32. Hello, Aaliyah. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Hello, Aaliyah. Thank you, Trish. What kind of disturbance am I causing today? I'm sure they will kick me out. Well, Biscuit, I guess we'll find out. I pinned this, don't worry. If you know my streams, you know that all I do is cause disturbances. Anyone who's on the stream on any kind of regularity knows that what we do is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we go to restaurants and we're super disrespectful. We tip poorly. We do nothing but speak disrespectfully to our servers, and usually just leave a huge mess. At least that's what you might think happens. So I'll say maybe I'll get kicked out. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. Why don't I stream on Wednesdays? It's my chance to do other content stuff that I don't have time to do on other weekdays. Thank you, KG. I don't get why you get so much hate. Thank you. Would I dye my hair a different color? Sure. Hello from Philadelphia. Is social media my job? Yes. What blush am I using? This is Cha Cha Tint. Thank you, Carol Ann. Lynn is in England. Hello from England. Why won't I change my voice? Because I don't want to. I love your videos and I wish I could pay for the subscription. I appreciate the love regardless. Thank you, Allie. Someone says, is it ever awkward filming in public? Not really. Why do people hate on you all the time? You're just a girl who wants to share her life. Thank you for saying that. That is very sweet of you, and true. Thank you, Nay. Hello from Puerto Rico. Thank you, Carly. I'm problematic. Can I ask Kaylee, what about me is problematic? If you wouldn't mind giving specifics, and I'm happy to address any problematic things. Again, honestly, I'm so happy to have this conversation. Thank you, Michelle Fox. What are my pronouns? She, her. Do I have a favorite dessert? I mean, it's just got to be ice cream, right? What are we eating tonight? Italian food. Thank you, Aaliyah. Yes, of course. Ask anything. Ask away. Hello, Inked Mama. Welcome back, Cece. Congrats to you. Welcome back. I have lipstick on my teeth, do I? Hold on. That's not true. How old were you when you found out you were trans? I was 27. What would you do if I was in a Okay, here's an interesting question. What would you do if I was in a bathroom, you walk in, and I'm feeling uncomfortable? Because I would. Good question, Leonie. Can I ask you why would you feel uncomfortable? Because I can tell you, Leonie, just right out the gate, um, that if you found yourself in a bathroom with me, uh, we wouldn't interact. I would find a stall. I would do my business, flush, leave, wash my hands, etc. So, why would you feel uncomfortable? Is my question. That's where the conversation is, Leonie. Hello from New York. Hi, everyone. Would I go on Blair's YouTube channel? I had to talk to her about it. No, get ready with me today. Sorry. Someone said, no, that's not true. Someone said, like, did I say that people who don't tell their kids about queer people are abusing them? No. Am I a guy? No. Would I ever want to not have bangs? Maybe. Thank you, Cass. That minimalist makeup and hoops are made for you. Thank you, Aaliyah. Will I ever get voice surgery? No. No. Hello, Elliot. Thank you, Mary. You don't represent the trans community. I am a trans person, so in some ways I do, but also no one trans person represents the trans community. You're later than normal. Oh, yeah, I know. I was filming a video. Y'all, I filmed a video earlier with a giant croissant. Literally, it was like this. I'm not joking. It was like this big. Maybe even a little bit bigger. It's hard to show you with... It was massive. Massive, this croissant. Hello, Christina. Hello, Letitia. Why no voice surgery? Because I don't want it. Thank you, Callie. Do I ever want a kid? No. Do I have a girlfriend? No. Lipstick shade is a Maybelline of some kind. It was massive. Massive, yeah. Thank you, Nady. Yes, massive. I look like Rose from the Titanic. Thank you, Tammy. Oh, no. That wasn't streamed. I will post a video with the croissant soon. No one's seen it except for me so far, and the people that were walking around. Thank you, Letitia. I don't agree with some of your views, but I think you're a cool person. I'll take it. Thank you, Savannah. What restaurant am I at? I'm at an Italian restaurant. Is it expensive living in San Francisco? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Leonie. My eyes are pretty. Thank you. You thought I was in a relationship? No, I am not in a relationship. I've been in relationships before. Well, I've talked about those on stream, but currently I'm single. Geez, www.com. I don't even know where to start with that. Is there a dent still in my head? It's not visible. I guess I can feel it just a little bit, but you can't see it, which is fine. Apparently it'll go away in a few months. Like the part, you can't see it now, so that's fine. So I'm not really like thinking about it, but it should be gone in the next few months. Aren't I toxic for the trans community? Some people say that. I don't think so. No one likes me, says Slim Jim. I think some people like me. Is the scar still raw? Not that much. It's still like tender, but it's not like raw. We need a skincare routine. Thank you, Tammy. I just put like some SPF moisturizer on this morning. Do I wear contacts? I am currently wearing contacts. Thank you, Vanessa. See, Vanessa likes me. Inked Mama likes me. I'm trans and I think you're cool. Thank you, Alexis. Blue Collar says, I don't think you're wrong for the trans community. Thank you. I don't think so either. How does your family feel about your journey? Great. They're very supportive. Thank you, Sandra. Is this place where we get the yummy meatballs? One of the places, yeah. Would I ever consider moving somewhere else? Maybe, but I'm not like thinking about it. Yeah, ask anything. Ask anything. You can ask your questions. Opinions on the UK, it's great. I've been there before. It's lovely. I like you too, says MC. Thank you. Misa says, I could see how people would be freaked out by the Miss Rachel content. I don't know. I guess, but also like those things don't mix. when you sit with your legs spread wide trying to be a lady, I mean, the way you sit doesn't make you any more or less a woman. It's not like women have to sit a certain way. And if you think that that's how women have to be, then you kind of have a narrow view on what it is to be anything. Like women must do this. Like no, we don't have to. We can do whatever we want. I'm she, her for the person that asked. Another trans creator said transition isn't the right word to use. I'd need more context. It said I wasn't trying to pass. That is correct. What brand is your lipstick? It's Maybelline. Hello, Clarabella. Welcome back. Thank you, Fee. I do that and I'm a woman. There you go. The only people that don't like you are the people who are transphobic. That's on them, not you. Thank you. Hello, Ginger. How's everyone doing? Thank you, Julia. Someone said I wasn't trying to pass. That is correct. That's not a goal. If it happens, it happens. But certainly I wouldn't pass until I changed my voice. But I'm not trying to change my voice anytime soon. Making a fool of the trans community. Okay. Would you recommend laser or go straight into electrolysis? It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. It depends because like if it's a very small area, right? Like you can't do full body electrolysis. You'll be doing it for the rest of your life. There's like millions of follicles on your body, and there's just no possible way to do that. Even laser takes a while. So it just depends. Like if you're doing a small area and you can afford electrolysis, go for it. Thank you very much. Don't you agree that people cannot like you, but it doesn't make them transphobic? Sure. Yeah. Hello, Casper. How's it going? Thank you, Lou. What does it mean to be transgender? It means that you were mislabeled at birth. So it's like being an apple, and when you were born, people label you an orange, and you're like, wait, I'm not an orange. I'm an apple. So you take the label off and become, the truest version of yourself, or show the world who you are. What made me decide to change genders? So like I said, Kendall, no changing of genders is happening. No changing is happening. In the apple orange example where, you're an apple to start with. You have always been an apple. I've always been a woman. But I was mislabeled, right? So I didn't decide to become an apple. I've always been an apple. Does that make sense? It's more just like realizing who I am. Okay, let's see. Someone said, you don't want to pass. Why do you get mad that people misgender you? The assumption, so there's a couple different ways to look at this. The first is that when you're a service worker, or anyone really, put service worker, take service workers out of this. Anytime you meet someone and you don't know their pronouns, regardless of how they present or what you assume their pronouns might be, it's just better to use gender neutral pronouns, right? Because you don't know, right? You don't know. You can ask them and say, oh, and what are your pronouns? She, her, great. And then you can use like she and her and ma'am or whatever you want. But especially in situations where it's a little bit more transactional, right? Like at the grocery store or at a restaurant, there's no need for a server to say anything other than like, hey, what can I get you? Great, perfect. Have that out in a minute, or what can I get you to drink? That kind of thing. So if they're to say, yes, sir, to me, then it's like, well, first off, you didn't need to even say that. And second off, you made an assumption that was incorrect. I don't need to be called ma'am, but it's hurtful to be called sir, right? So why do I get upset? It's because I shouldn't have to be a certain way in order for people to respect my pronouns, right? I shouldn't have to like conform to a certain idea of femininity that honestly doesn't fit me just so that people respect me, right? You say I have to be something in order to earn your respect, but I'm telling you, no, thank you. If that makes sense. Thank you, Megan. I PMO so much. Okay. Am I religious? No. Am I pleased with my FFS? I am. Why did I pick the name Lily? I really like it. Thank you, Reese's. It was just always with me. I used it a lot growing up, playing video games like World of Warcraft. I was named Lily, and anytime I had to name a character. And I just always liked that name, and from a young age, really. So eventually I realized I was trans, and I was like, oh, of course I'll be Lily. Saying this as a trans girl, you look so feminine. Thank you, Aria. Wait, you kind of have a point. Thank you. I do have a point. I appreciate it. Oh, mocktails. Let's do a mocktail. What mocktail is the vibe today? I'll put my life in your hands.
Oh my god! Wow.
I'm open to, as long as it doesn't have grapefruit. I'm down, and maybe like something more savory, not so sweet. I put myself.
That's a dangerous ride there.
I know. Okay. But the Phony Negroni is bottled, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
is there anything I
my
haven't
go-tos
done?
are always the Passione Mule.
Is this new?
No, that's been
Home
that's
creme?
a little too desserty.
It's too desserty.
It's
Okay.
like strawberries and cream.
Okay. How about the Phony Negroni?
Do you want the regular or the mezcal phone?
Mezcal, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Remember to tell them your pronouns. Our server already knows my pronouns because he's wonderful, and he's our server pretty much every time we're here. I would say we're friends. What is my favorite video game? Oh, geez, that's a tough question. Yes, Sabrina Carpenter, feel free, ask a question. Is it rude to ask for pronouns? Nope, not at all. Before you realized you were trans, was there anything that made you think you could be trans? There's an interesting story. When I was in middle school, so I guess like 12 or 13, I had a day where I thought, I kind of like had a realization where I was like, am I gay? Because I didn't like boys, but I still felt gay, which is a pretty common thing for a trans person who doesn't know they're trans to feel, right? Like, I feel different, but it's not how, like, I currently understand gay people to feel. But I said, doesn't matter, I must be gay. So I came out as gay to everyone in middle school. And this was in, like, the early 2000s, and it was a different world. It was not cool to be gay. And I came out and told everyone, every class. It was just one day. I told everyone. And I was like, great, yeah, finally, everyone knows. And then I sat in the car when my mom was driving me home, and she was like, how's your day? I was like, it was good. I came out to everyone as gay. And she said, oh, are you gay? And I like sat, and I was like, I don't think so. And then I started crying because I realized that I told everyone I was gay, and that the next day I would have to go back and be like, actually, I don't think I'm gay. Now, little did I know, I was gay in a slightly different sort of way. I just didn't know yet. It was very upsetting, that whole situation. And, but yeah, I definitely felt different. I just didn't have the vocabulary to express my differentness. Are there any comments you made previously that realized you may have been in the wrong? Sure. I mean, I am always growing and learning. And if there's anything particular you want to ask me about my current stance on, go for it. But I don't know. I certainly regret saying certain things, not necessarily in my content. I think really hard before I post things. I take a lot of time making sure that what I put in my videos is exactly what I want to say. So yeah. Do I ever feel judged? Absolutely. Why does my hair always look dirty? Ooh, that's an interesting question. Well, it's oftentimes very wet. One of the reasons it's been kind of greasy lately is because I apply a lot of product to my scar up here that kind of just like is always there. Thank you. I'm in the mood for one of these. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes. Learn that lesson before. All right. Oh no, you're good. This is, do I still believe Kurt Cobain was trans? There's no way of knowing for sure, but I think probably genderqueer in some way, perhaps. Yeah. No, I stand by that video for sure. People got really upset about the Kurt Cobain thing. I know, right? So this is a mocktail, 0% alcohol, 0.0. It's called a Phony Negroni. And actually, I can just show you right here. It comes from a bottle. In it are carbonated water, cane sugar, natural flavors, citric acid, fruit juice, phosphoric acid, quinine, and sodium benzoate. What is genderqueer? Genderqueer is more of like a nebulous term for like not cisgender. Doesn't necessarily mean anything specific. It's a little bit more like, this is not exactly true, but like transish, kind of. Like you're not necessarily fitting into like the man or the woman binary box. It can mean a couple things. It's kind of like queer in that it's a bit of an umbrella term. Natural curls, yes. How's the recovery going? Pretty well. Do you think what you said in Disneyland? Okay, let's talk about Disneyland. Hold on. I can't find that comment, but absolutely, I stand by what I said in Disneyland. So, if you haven't seen that video, feel free to go watch it. Basically, I'm using like food to explain my, bottom surgery situation and what's going on. Thank you, Mod, for pinning that. I think people assume that, and incorrectly assume, is that being in Disneyland means that there's always children like with doe eyes looking at you and listening to you. When in reality, if you've ever been to a theme park, not just Disneyland, it's loud, it's busy, and no one is paying attention to anything that you are doing, right? I was sitting in a cafe that was like so loud. I had my earplugs in, I had my noise canceling microphone on. My mom was sitting right next to me, and I filmed the video, right? Even she could barely hear what I was saying. There were no children listening, okay? But let's say there were. There weren't, but let's say there were. I'm talking about marshmallows. Like, no kid is going to be like, yes, interesting use of metaphor or allegory for this, like, marshmallow tunnel. I can see what you're doing there. It's like, no. And even if I wasn't using marshmallow tunnel, which again, I was, we're in several layers of hypothetical right now. What's the problem? It's literally just a gender affirming thing. What's the problem? It's just like a hip surgery or whatever. I fully stand by that video. I think it's a really good video. I really like that video. One of my favorites. I'm like super happy about it. It's one of those videos that like I wasn't planning on doing. I saw the marshmallow thing on a stick, and I was like, I know what to do. Mom, let's get this thing filmed. We sat down close by, and I was done in 20 minutes, and that was like a big video for me. It's not like a hip surgery. Why not? Did I get banned from Disney? That's a good question. I haven't been back yet, but we'll see. If you think people shouldn't assume others' genders, why are you assuming Kurt Cobain's? A good question, Samantha. A lot of people got really upset that I speculated that Kurt Cobain might be trans. Okay. Now, if this had been a video about someone who is still alive, I would never have made this video if it were about someone who is still with us, because it is entirely inappropriate to speculate on someone's gender who is still with us, potentially in the closet, right? Because worst case scenario, you say, I think so-and-so is trans, and then actually maybe they are, and then they're forced out of the closet. That's completely inappropriate, right? Much like on that episode of Survivor, where Zeke got outed on live TV. Not okay, right? Kurt Cobain has been gone for like 30 years, okay? There's no one's feelings that are hurt. Whose feelings are hurt, right? We speculate on people's gender and sexuality all the time. From the past, Abraham Lincoln, for example, there is pretty strong evidence that suggests that Abraham Lincoln was gay. He slept in bed, he shared a bed with a man for like 4 years. He had men sleep over when Mary Todd was gone. There's so many things that point to maybe Abraham Lincoln would be gay, right? Now, does that tarnish his legacy? Absolutely not. He was one of our best, if not our best presidents. He did a lot of good stuff. if anything, Abraham Lincoln being gay is just another layer that we can interpret him as a historical figure. Like, oh, interesting, right? Like, it adds some complexity to him as a person. Same thing with Alexander the Great. Evidence that Alexander the Great was bi. Now, does that mean that Alexander the Great is just like not the person we thought he was? No. He conquered the world literally, and that's always going to be his legacy, but it just adds some interesting interpretation to his life. The same is for Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain wrote music about being sad, about being a person who was going through it. That's what Kurt Cobain's deal was. He wrote angsty songs, grunge. He basically was at the forefront of the grunge music movement. He was a very important person in the 90s for that reason, a trendsetter. Kurt Cobain gave a bunch of interviews where he talked about queer people. He talked about being an advocate for queer people. He talked about maybe being queer himself. When you read his song lyrics, there's a lot of suggestion at queerness about your bones feeling wrong, growing incorrectly. You look at Kurt's journal, right? Talking about, he drew a picture once of a seahorse, a pregnant dad, right? There's so many indicators that he could have been trans, right? Not just these song lyrics. Also, Kurt Cobain wore a lot of women's clothing, both in public and in private. So was Kurt Cobain trans? Maybe. I think so, but I don't need anyone else to think that. The reason I bring it up is because it's another interesting layer of interpretation for a historical figure, right? To say, if Kurt Cobain was trans, let's say that he actually had come out before he died, would that not be a really interesting way to look at his music? That makes sense, right? That's why I made that video. I really, really stand by that video. And I want to be clear that I'm not the first person to bring this up. Not at all. Name a song like a Nirvana song? Is that what you mean? I can name a couple. I'm not the biggest Nirvana fangirl. So yeah, no, I totally stand by that video. That says what? Okay. You didn't say if, did you? You say he was. I think he was. I do, Samantha. I really do. You can disagree with me. You absolutely can disagree with me. I do think that Kurt was trans. Just because I say it, though, I'd ask you to look inside yourself, right? If you were upset with me because of that video, why? Why were you upset? Because in my mind, Kurt Cobain's legacy is not tarnished whatsoever. If anything, it's just a cool little possibility about his music and the legacy, right? Of wow, looks like there was something that we didn't see at the time about Kurt, you know? I said I wasn't upset. I was just saying, you said if in the video, but you made the statement. I believe that Kurt was trans. I still do. But if Kurt Cobain was trans, tarnishes his legacy in your mind, that's not my problem, right? It doesn't make Kurt any lesser of a person, right? Why? Does someone being trans make them lesser? No, not at all. If the idea that Kurt Cobain was trans is so upsetting to you because it's wow, that's so disrespectful. What's disrespectful? Being trans? Is that bad to you? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with being trans. That's your own internal prejudice coming up. You know? I'm fairly confident that Kurt Cobain would have been a massive trans ally too. I agree. Kurt Cobain was a gay ally, a queer ally in the 90s when it was not cool to be gay at all. Kurt Cobain was there, right? And look, a lot of trans feminine people, myself included, look at Kurt's life and say, I relate to that, right? Like in the 90s where we did not have that vocabulary, even someone like now Susie Izzard, Eddie Izzard at the time, was still not even using the word transgender. It wasn't even really spoken at all. Still, name one song. Like, I don't know, there's a million Nirvana songs. Here, if you're really looking for evidence that Kurt could have been trans, I'd encourage you to Google his notebook. Okay, you can buy it on Amazon. It's literally just like photocopies of his notebook. All right, and in those notes, there are alternate versions of lyrics for songs, right? Talking about a bunch of different things, but there are certain things in there that talk about, I forget exactly, it's been like a year since I made that video, but there's one where he talks about his like bones growing in too big or uncomfortable. Like I said, there's the Star Horse. It's not just the clothes. Read the interviews, right? He talks about being gay. Talks about, oh, I thought I was gay at one point, but I don't know, right? These are all things that a lot of trans femmes experience. And look, even if I had no evidence, even if I just sat here and said Kurt was trans, and there was nothing to back it up, who cares? What does it bother you for? Why does it bother you? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're bothered by the suggestion that someone might be trans, why? Isn't that what people do to you? Assume you're not trans? Yeah, but I'm out saying I'm trans. That's not an analogy that works. It would be disrespectful for me to say that Elton John is straight. Well, I mean, it's not, I guess, but it's more just like, no, he's gay. He's out as gay. I don't think that's doing what you think it's doing. Like, are you upset? The same people who are upset that I say that Kurt Cobain was trans, are you upset that I say that Abraham Lincoln was gay? Does that upset you in the same way? Or is there just enough time passed that Abraham Lincoln has been gone that you don't care? Don't you think Kurt's daughter would be upset? No. Why would she be upset? Who cares? Being upset that someone speculates that your parent might have been queer, like, who cares? It's interesting. It's not bad. We also got a nice, ooh, that's really good. That's really nice. Hello, Jen. You'd be upset? Why? Why would you be upset? They said Joan of Arc was trans, totally. What was that guy's name? There was a trans man who fought in the Civil War. Arthur something? God, someone look it up. Albert Cashier, trans man who fought in the Civil War. Obviously, the word transgender didn't exist during the Civil War, but he lived as a man his entire life. He fought in the Civil War. He transitioned before. Some people pretended to be men just to fight in the Civil War, but Albert was a man, presented male before and after. And it's a really fascinating story. Look up Albert Cashier. Okay. Do I like men or women? Women. I heard Mulan was trans. Well, Mulan is a fictional character. So I don't think there's really much to be said about Mulan. I grew up with Kurt. You grew up with Kurt. A lot of us did. And a lot of us relate to Kurt in a way that I don't know why it's upsetting. What am I drinking? This is a Phony Negroni. So it is non-alcoholic. It's a mocktail. It tastes like it, just no alcohol. All right. I think we're good to go into sub only because, yes, Albert Cashier. Albert Cashier. Did I say something? That's his name, right? Albert Cashier. All right. There we go. While we are taking a deep breath, let's say thank you to our friend who sent a $15 gift. V, are you here? Today, if you do happen to send a gift, please let me know if you'd like your name read. V, if you'd like your name read. They sent $15. Thank you so much. They said, I love you, girl, with a heart. Have the best day ever. Okay, Veronica. I didn't want to out you just yet. It was Veronica. Thank you, Veronica. Yes, V is Veronica. You are so sweet, and thank you, Wonka, for resubscribing. I'm keeping the floodgates open a little bit today. I know it was horrific. I think it's important to answer these questions. I think it's really important because, it's great to have our safe space, and we will always have this, and the majority of the stream will be sub only. I just kind of miss having those conversations. I want to speak on some stuff. It is very stressful, I know, but I just think it's important. I think we gotta kind of venture outside our comfort zone sometimes. So Veronica, thank you for sending that gift during my soapbox, and I appreciate you. And I'll go back through the comments I missed in a second. I appreciate you sending that during that, because it's like, oh yeah, okay. This is resonating, is what that tells me, of like, oh yeah, I like answering these questions. It's intense, but I'm not afraid of it. And I think every stream from it, for now, what I'm going to do is have a little bit of time with the floodgates open so that we can answer these questions, because I really think it's important. As much as I love the safe space, we need to have a balance where there is a space for people, even nasty people, to get their voice heard and say like, but this, but that, but Kurt Cobain wasn't trans, and me to be like, no, actually, this is what I feel, because we don't necessarily find those conversations naturally here, because we're more or less on the same page. So thank you, Veronica. That was very, very affirming to see that gift come through while I was on my soapbox. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, let's go through the comments. Hith says, I admit I was on the fence about your Kurt video for a while, but that explanation helped. Thank you, Hith. I'm glad to hear it. Welcome back, Wonka. Hello, Poppy. Aria's in Croatia. Cool. I just imagine everyone pressed because they can't comment now. Yeah. You were confused. I don't know how to say your name. It's a safety test. Thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, it makes me mad too, Katie, but gotta stay calm. Thank you, Carissa and Kathy. Good afternoon, Chris. Gives you something different to talk about. That's true. Comments do move fast. It is important. Oh, Chantel, thank you for resubscribing. Welcome back. It is important because you have a stage where people do listen. Yeah, true. Do you only keep them open at the beginning? I probably won't open them. I won't say no. I won't say never. But that was like the big floodgate probably for today. I think my comment question made it seem like I was disagreeing with you, but I wasn't. Okay, good to know, good to know. But doesn't it weigh on your mental health? Not in the way that you might think. Hello, Kathy. I agree with you. It's good to answer people to better understand certain things. I honestly agree with you. There's nothing wrong with being trans. It gives people something to think about. I agree, Natalie. Hello, Mart. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, bro. Shall we read the menu? Pope Joan. I'm not familiar. Thank you, T, for subscribing. And by the way, if anyone's watching and you want to have a conversation with me, be it, you got something to tell me, you want to tell me why you don't think trans women are women, I will listen, and I promise my mods won't mute you. We can have that conversation. It's just easier when we have the sub only, because it's just quieter, and I'm able to spend a little bit more time on things. It's $2.69 for the first month. It's pretty good. It's less than like a pack of gum at this point, so, or at least some packs of gum. People are mean, but whether they like you or not, at least they're asking questions. I agree. There was a trans pope. Really? I'm not familiar with this. I completely agree. There's absolutely nothing nothing wrong with being trans, but I'm curious. ... Okay. You like my ponytail? Thank you. I like it too. Why is it okay for someone to assume someone is trans? Well, it's important that they're no longer living, right? Because once they're gone, there's no one to out because they're gone, right? When we talk about historical figures, yes, I said thank you to Chantel. When we talk about historical figures, the way history works is we look at all the documents we have of people in the past and events, and we interpret it, right, so that we can learn. So, like I said, in the case of Abraham Lincoln, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that he was gay, right? Now, this doesn't change his legacy. It certainly doesn't tarnish it, nor do I think it like improves it. It's just like an interesting layer to interpret him as a human, right? The same goes for Kurt, right? Kurt, there's a possibility that Kurt wasn't trans. I think he was, but that's just my opinion. You don't have to believe that. I'm not saying you do. And in fact, it really doesn't matter because he's gone. I just think that given the evidence we have of Kurt, there is a strong possibility based on not just his wardrobe, but also his lyrics, also his diary, and also the interviews he gave. It's a theory that's been kicking around on the internet for a long time now. It wasn't me that came up with it. I don't find it to be disrespectful. And I think that a lot of people who find it disrespectful feel that way because there's something deep in them that says, ooh, they're suggesting that there was something wrong with Kurt. That there's something about Kurt that wasn't, that my hero, Kurt, that I love, that Lily's suggesting there's something wrong with Kurt. And that's not true because being trans, there's nothing wrong with being trans. In fact, if anything, it's like, it's neutral, right? So that's, yeah. Does that make sense, T? But back then, people have to remember it was taboo to be gay or trans. Yeah, and taboo, yes, but also not even in the vocabulary. Thank you, Ashley, for subscribing. I just saw that. Welcome, welcome, Opa. I appreciate you being willing to explain things calmly. Of course, always. Whether you are trans or cis, we all bleed the same and we all have feelings. Yeah, absolutely. Ashley says, question, I messed up on pronouns and feel awful. How can I show I'm sincerely sorry? Great question, Ashley. So, if you accidentally misgender someone, it happens. I've done it. Make it known that you are very sorry, but don't go overboard. Because if you spend like the next 10 minutes on a monologue about why you're so sorry you misgendered someone, you're just making the other person uncomfortable, right? Like what I need to hear if I'm misgendered is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, she, and then move on. That's it. And you might feel like you need to say more, but you really don't. T says, I agree. Nothing wrong with it at all. I was just curious. Thank you for being kind in your answer. Of course, T. Of course. Make sure I didn't miss any comments. Oh, thank you, Jess. Let me read it in just a second. How long is my hair when wet? Probably down to like here. You're so right. My dad doesn't understand being trans. Oof. Hi, Alex. Okay. Let's read this gift that just came through. I was just glancing at the trans people story. Oh, it's fictional. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I would have heard it. Hello, Kate. Katie asked me this in just a second. I would like to read a gift from our friend Jess. Hello, Jess. Jess sent $5. Thank you. Said, love your lives with a heart emoji. Actually, they did a heart emoticon. The less than sign and then a 3. It's old school. Love your lives. Have a beautiful weekend. But this time they used a hand heart emoji. Thank you very much, Jesse. There you go. I would say one of my more common used emojis is the hand heart emoji. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting the gas in the tank. I almost struggle to find my words there. Thank you for putting gas in the tank. I love doing this. Today, I'm actually in a really good mood. Not that I'm not always in a good mood, but today I am, and I don't know why. I ate a giant croissant earlier, and I had a tough night last night, but for some reason, I'm feeling good today. So anyways, thank you, Jess. Okay, Katie says, how do I explain being trans to my dad? I'm not trans, but he doesn't understand. Okay, explain it. I'll give you 2 different ways to explain it, and you can pick which example. All right, I think they both work, but you know your dad best. The first one is the rock and the shoe example. Imagine that. Well, actually, okay. When you're born, imagine that everyone gets given a pair of shoes, right? A pair of shoes that you're going to wear for your entire life, that you're going to walk through the world with, right? And the pair of shoes that you're given is based on a best guess of how your body is going to be, right? Or not your body, but like it's let me restart that. You're given a pair of shoes based on your body, right? Assuming that the shoes are going to fit. So in this example, the shoes are the gender, right? So you're assigned a gender, you're given a gender based on the way your body is. Now, usually the shoes fit, usually, but not always, right? 90+% of people never think about the shoes they were given. But sometimes, as you grow, you realize that your feet are just not working with these shoes at all. It's just not working. Your shoes are maybe they're too big, they're too small, they're too wide, they're too narrow, whatever it is. Sometimes they don't fit. And in that case, you need to change shoes. You need to transition shoes, right? That's one way of thinking about it. Another, maybe even better example is the definition of being trans. Think about it like fruit, where you have, let's say you were born as an apple, right? In my case, a girl. You're born as an apple, but when you come out, everyone looks at you and says, oh, that's an orange. You're not an orange, but they still put the orange label on you. And as you grow up, everyone calls you an orange. Everyone expects you to be an orange. And it's like you're trying to be something that inherently you are just not. Until one day you have to take off the orange label and say, hey, everyone, I'm actually not an orange. I'm not an orange. I'm an apple. And that it's the same thing, right? Where I was labeled boy when I was born. I had to pretend to be a boy. I never was a boy. I was always a girl, but I had to fit into the expectation that I was assigned. Until eventually I got so sick of it, right? You could think about it like a rock in your shoe. It's there, it's painful. You gotta eventually take that shoe off and get the rock out of there. I hope that helps. I was just trying to kind of scattershot, give you things to explain it. There's different ways to approach it, but I hope that was helpful. Let's read the menu. What do we say? What do we say about reading the menu? Y'all ready for this? This is an Italian restaurant. What lipstick? This is a Maybelline Superstay. I was going to reach for it, but I think that's close enough. Okay. Castelvetrano olives. Thank you, Fadunki, for subscribing. Opa. There's olives. There are anchovy and sardine deviled eggs. Had them before, pretty good. A little bit oily for me, but that's because, sardines and anchovies can be a little oily. There's guanciale meatballs. Guanciale is kind of like an Italian bacon. It's like going to Aldi and you grab a can of green beans and opening it up and it's corn. Sure, yeah. They have a whipped salt cod, parsley, and garlic crostini. They have a caprese. That's something we haven't had. Mozzarella di bufala. Pomodoro. So basically just like a little bite of caprese salad. They have a forest floor, which we did last time. It was the first time we've had it. It was so good. It's like this mushroom kind of paste. It's thinner than a paste. It's kind of like a thick sauce. And they give you bread, and there's mushrooms. They're so good. So good. I'd do that again. There's the polpo, which is octopus with avocado crema, salsa verde, and Calabrian chili. I usually don't go for octopus. They also have their super fancy $21 appetizer. It's literally like a couple of bites. It's one piece of bread with stracciatella cheese, a pear, asparagus, cured egg yolk shaved on top, and, of course, caviar. That's why it's $21. Of these appetizers, what haven't we had? We haven't had the salt cod one in a while. We could do that. We could do the caprese. I haven't had that in a while. We haven't had the... I would do octopus. I so rarely do octopus, but if y'all want to do something we haven't done, today is the day I will maybe make... I don't want to do octopus. I don't like eating octopus. They're so smart. I don't like that. We could actually, now that I think about it, do a meat and a cheese. They have meat and cheese boards. They have the prosciutto, capicola, smoked duck breast, a spicy sopressata, and a mortadella. For cheese, they have Parmesan, Pecorino, They have a couple. I don't even know what these are. Pecora, Valteggio, Taleggio. Be good. I am Italian. Yes. Octopus are too smart to eat. I agree. And it's 2 for 21 on the meat and 2 for 19 on the cheese. I'm assuming we can mix and match. Probably. Okay, let's keep reading. Mortadella. I'm Italian, but I'm not that Italian. Okay, they also have a stracciatella, which is the cheese. It's like what's inside a broad. It's like kind of milky, soft cheese, sprinkled pistachio, olive tapenade, and focaccia bread. It's very good. It's been a while since we've had that. And then they also have a quinta, which I think is kind of chanterelle mushrooms, California bay leaf, and pizza bianca. I guess that's also like a bread and cheese situation. Haven't had that before. They have 3 different pizzas. They have a mortadella pizza, which has stracciatella, that's the cheese, pomegranate, pistachio, and rucola. I think that's like a green of some kind. They have a whipped artichoke pizza. I think North Italy, Uber lady. A whipped artichoke pizza with truffle, parmesan, and rucola. And then a margarita pizza, which we've had before. I don't think we've had the artichoke or the mortadella pizza before. As far as soup and salad, they have a tuna carpaccio, a chopped salad, a soup, which is probably, they have butternut squash soup, I'm assuming, and then a kale Caesar salad, which is also very good. They have a risotto, which is wonderful. They have a pasta with duck that is also wonderful. We had that, I think, last time. And then a scampi with shrimp. A scampi alla Venezia with red shrimp, white wine, lemon, and herb gremolata. So that'd be like a pasta thing. That could be good. Last time you were going to get the artichoke. I'm down to get the artichoke pizza. Do we want to do the artichoke pizza? We can do that. That sounds good. I don't think I've had that before.
Time for lunch.
I think so. I don't think I've ever had the artichoke or the mortadella pizza.
I'm more an artichoke person.
More an artichoke person? Okay, I
I
think...
love them both, but the artichoke is like,
Okay,
it's a white pizza. There's no tomato sauce.
No tomato sauce.
Truffle parm is the base.
okay.
Artichoke is pureed into that, as well as on top with some greens.
Sounds good. Okay. That sounds good. Let's do that.
Okay.
As far as an appetizer goes, I've just had so many things before. Like,
Well, I would say also if you're planning on eating the whole pizza now, probably don't do anything else.
yeah.
But if you're going to take some of it home, maybe have a slice or 2 here.
Okay, well, let's start with it and see how it goes.
Save room for dessert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And I don't think there's any.
It's fine. I'll be okay. I'm trying to push myself.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Day knew you.
New day, new me. New face, new me.
That was part of the dream.
That was part of the dream? It was my face?
Because I kept saying, "Oh my God, you look like it's completely healed." And you're like, "No, I've got months left."
That's what I say.
No,
That's what I keep saying to you.
It looks.
I know, it looks
completely
healed.
different. And you're like, "No, I got so much time." I was like, my boyfriend was with me in the dream. I was like, "Doesn't she?" And he's like, "I don't know what you look like before, so I can't really." Yeah, it was a face thing.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was like, "Your face is." I think I said something like, "Your face is done."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh no, months and months." And
Yeah.
months. Yeah.
I try to temper expectation.
Okay.
Just so that, it's good now, but it's going to get better. It's going to age like a fine wine.
We'll wake up and it'll be.
Yes,
Days are long, but the weeks are short.
exactly.
Okay.
Cool.
Little artichoke pizza going.
Thank you. Isn't our server the best? He was telling me that he had a dream about me the other night. Oh, I'm sure you will, Kathy. Did you miss anything? We haven't eaten anything yet. But apparently, so we were talking about it before the stream, and he said they had a dream about me and that we like met in the supermarket or something and caught up. But then something sparked his memory, and he said apparently in the dream, he said, "Oh, your face looks good," and I said, "No. There's still months left of healing," and which is what I'll use. I sometimes will deflect a compliment about my face like that. I'll say, "Oh, but there's so much more healing to be done," which I know is a deflection. Because I really like the way I look. I really do. I think I look fantastic. But it's true that there is a lot, especially in like the nose and the chin. A lot of it doesn't look like there's that much swelling, but it's one of those things where in a year, you'll look back on how I look right now and be like, oh yeah, I see that now. Um, yeah, no, he's very sweet. Okay, what were we talking about? Thank you, Callie. I actually feel very good. I feel pretty hot today. I'm coming to SF to get married in July. Congrats. Oh, thank you, Ashley. That's very sweet of you. I think the chin jawline is the most noticeable difference. Thank you. You see your face every day, so probably don't notice as much as I do, but I can tell a huge difference. Thank you. And thank you, Hannah, for the Forever Rose. Thank you very much. That was very cool. Thank you. Love the natural look today. Thank you, Wonka. Just joined today, so happy cool, Nicole. Well, if I miss your subscription, sorry. Thank you for subbing and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Loving the lip and the mascara. Thank you. I felt like going a little more natural. Are you actively dating or taking a break? Yes. I'm not like, I'm on the apps, but I'm not pushing hard, right? I'm not like really trying to, I'd like to put myself out there more. I'll get there. I'll get there. Yeah. I see a big difference in the chin and the nose. Thank you. Yeah, especially when you see my side profile. There's definitely a big difference. I think I mentioned this before. Thank you, Dill, for subscribing. Opa. And no, you're good, Polly. Hi, Lily. I realized oh, you're totally fine. Welcome back. I'm waiting. I sent a request to my doctor's office because they took before and after pictures of me. Really, I'm just looking for the before pictures because they have this really nice camera, and the pictures are taken with kind of like the before and after in mind because they know exactly what angles to take to emphasize how much has changed. So really, it should be any day now. I should be able to get those pictures, and I'll post them for sure. And I'm gonna do the comparison so that people, because I think it's easy to say, oh no, I don't look different at all, like nothing changed or they botched it, but it's just not true. You can tell you're feeling yourself today. Your vibe is refreshing. Thank you, Callie. That's very sweet. Okay, I think we might open the floodgates a little bit. It looks like I'm getting a little quiet in here, which is totally fine. That happens, but we'll open the floodgates a little bit and say hi to everyone. Oh, did your gift come through? Let me check, Jill. I might have missed it. I might have been looking away. It might not have. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, I don't see it. If you sent it this way through the watch, then you make sure that you sent it to the right person. Hello, Rachel. Thank you, Bethany. Hi, everyone. What did I order so far? Thank you, Jill. So far, we've ordered an artichoke pizza, which has truffle, parmesan, and rucola. What the whipped truffle dish was? Yeah, parmesan. So the way it was described to me is it's pizza, and the sauce is like a parmesan, like a white sauce with, I think, artichoke blended in there, and cheese, and then artichoke on top. My friend came out as trans and is really new to me. How do I support him best? Good question, Sav. Make sure you're using the right pronouns. So I'm assuming that they came out as trans and they're he, him. So great, as long as you're doing that. Making sure you're calling them by the right name, if that's what they asked you to do. And that's I mean, honestly, beyond that, standing up for them as best you can. Text them, check in, say hey, how's it going? Thinking about you. Want to hang out soon? Just be a good friend. You don't need to like have the answers to everything. All you need to do is be a good friend. That's all they really need. I just want to say you give me so much confidence. You deserve happiness. Thank you, Maggie. That is sweet of you. What do I do for a living? I'm a content creator full time. How are the Loop earphones, the earplugs? They're good. They keep noise out very well. You think my bangs would look amazing, straightened and curved? Thank you. Is April your lucky month? In theory, April is my lucky month. That's what the psychic told me. How is it living in America? It's been better. Thank you, Rachel, for subscribing. Cheers. Hello, Seal and Maddie. Are we just starting? Kind of. We've been on for a while, but I haven't eaten anything yet. Did it hurt to transition? Well, FFS hurt, but doesn't hurt anymore. Lash extensions? Probably not. Stay away from children. Okay. You should try the Black Honey Lipstick by Clinique. How long have I been trans for? My entire life. I know you're sober, but are there any gay bars in SF that you like to go to? I'm not really a bar person. Have I traveled the world? Yeah. Was the fortune teller telling the truth? When April ends, I'll let you know. I know you want... Okay, here's an interesting one. I know you want to be called she, but I don't believe in that. Okay, I mean, you don't have to call me she if you don't want to. I can't force you. But know that if you call me he on purpose, knowing that I want to be called she, but you refuse, I have every right not to speak to you, right? And maybe even to tell you that you're not a nice person. Because if someone asks you, like, hey, it would mean a lot if you called me by this instead of that. And you are so morally opposed for whatever reason that someone like kindly asks you to use a slightly different way to refer to them, but you're like so like, why are you against it? Because you know you've been told that it will hurt their feelings if you don't. So why not? Even if you don't believe in it or whatever, what do you got against being nice? What do you got against being nice? That's my question. Do you go to the women's bathroom? Of course. Thank you, Combi. I have been to the UK. Emily is currently in the airport watching while I board my flight to New York City. Very cool. Very cool. When did I transition? I've been transitioning for about 4 years. Have you ever thought of staying with one person? It's occurred to me. Sure. But that's not currently what I'm doing. Conservatives call it the Gulf of America when it transitioned, so it seems they can do it. Good point, Dill. They ask people to call it X, not Twitter. Change names. It's not hard to respect people. That's what I'm saying. Lily, please always hold your head high. I appreciate it, Clarabella. I do my best. Riku says, it was muted with good reason, but Riku said something like, if I ever catch you in the women's bathroom, there will be a problem. Riku, I'm going to tell you right now, it sounds like there would be. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm waiting for that day. The day that someone wants to make a problem out of it. Because anytime I'm in a bathroom, I'm always anxious that something like that's going to happen. But just because I'm anxious and I'm not like excited for it to happen. But if and when it does happen, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I've had that like I've played that situation out in my mind a million times, and I'm ready. Hello, Ariana. My old name is Nick, but I recommend you don't ask a trans person that question. If I ever witness it, Lily, I got your back. Thank you, Celeste. You shouldn't be in a women's bathroom. Why not? I'm a woman. People are so obsessed with hating on trans people. Why not hate on... I mean, sure. Amy Stravinsky, hello. I'm doing well, Ariana. How are you? Exactly, Poppy. I trained for this. Please close the gates. We're getting there. You like no gender bathroom? Sure, but that's not the kind of script. Sometimes people are like, well, why don't we just make all bathrooms like genderless? And that's just never going to happen. So we got to address the problem. If it's not the bathrooms, it'll be something else. Am I a skin? What does that mean? A skinwalker? I started my first day at work. Congrats, Ariana. That's awesome. Just got off work and you're tired. Welcome back to the real world from work. Hello from Scotland. Other day we were talking about trans people in sports. Would you be opposed to a trans team if that were the only thing, the only way trans people could compete? Of course I'd be opposed to it. There are trans teams in like leagues that are inclusive of that kind of thing, but that's not the solution, right? The solution is just let trans people play in sports. If all bathrooms were gender neutral, it would be dangerous. Can I ask you, Orla? Orla says, okay, let me see if I can pin this. If all bathrooms were gender neutral, it would be dangerous. Why? I ask, if were gender neutral, it would be dangerous. Why? I ask why. You don't deserve all the hate you get. Thank you. I agree. We got a gift from someone whose name starts with an. Oh, I won't say. Actually, their name starts with a J. I think I can't say because they said their name in here. They said, first off, they sent $10. Thank you. Feel free to throw some gas tank emojis up because Jill is putting gas in the tank. Appreciate it. It's Jill. Thank you. Gender neutral bathrooms exist in your homes. That is true. They said, what is a respectful and gender neutral way to address a stranger? Love you from Jill. Thank you. So it depends on the context, Jill. If it feels right, you could say, hey, friend, how's it going? Or, hey there, right? How's it going? Because it's, especially if it's a one-on-one conversation, pronouns are used to speak about someone in the third person. Ooh. So thank you so much. So if you're speaking to someone directly, there's really no need to, there's no situation in which you would say he or she. If you really needed to say sir or ma'am, you could always ask them their pronouns. You can say, oh, and could I ask, what are your pronouns? And they would tell you. But yeah, hey friend, hey there, how's it going? How you doing? You can kind of just like avoid gendered language entirely pretty easily. Does that help? What is this dish? This is an whipped artichoke pizza. I just want to know the lipstick. It's a Maybelline Superstay. Can I ask respectfully, do you genuinely think you're in the right in those restaurant situations? Yeah, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. But also, I want you to know that like that happens very infrequently, super infrequently. Why does the pizza look raw? It's not raw. It's a white sauce. Maybe that's what you're saying. What pizza has no tomato sauce? A lot of pizza has no tomato sauce. It's called a white pizza. Plenty of restaurants. You can get a white pizza from literally any pizza chain, including Pizza Hut, Domino's. What are other ones? Hungry Howie's. It's called a white pizza. Pretty common. I know. Crush this pizza too. Do you never use gendered language? I totally use gendered language all the time. But at least in theory, unless I slip up, only with people whose pronouns I know, right? Like, when I was in grade school, for example, I grew up in the South, and we were expected to always say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. So they let you know, like, call me ma'am. So yes, ma'am. I'm happy to call someone sir if that's what they'd like. Gendered language isn't like something that's going away, nor do I want it to go away. It has its time and place. It's just when you don't know, you just ask or not use it. Yes, Clementine, ask away. Gonna go now. Okay, Ariana. No one calls you ma'am. By the way, Jill, did I answer your question? I just want to make sure. I hope that was helpful. Thank you again for the gift. Also, we got another gift, y'all. This time from an anonymous person. Actually, you want me to read? Actually, okay, no, you can't. Okay. This anonymous person, it was, okay, thank you, Joe. This anonymous person sent $20. Dang. And they said, TGIF from your favorite anonymous healthcare worker. Cool. An anonymous healthcare worker friend with a smiley heart face. You know, that's got like the smile, but then there's like a couple hearts around it. It's like hearts on it. Love ya with a hand heart emoji. Well, thank you, anonymous healthcare worker friend. I appreciate you. And I love you. Absolutely, Carol Ann. And I will read the message that comes through on my watch. The same app is how this person sent it, this anonymous person. $20 is a lot of money. This goes straight to the pizza, straight to the drink, straight to the dessert. And it's hugely appreciated. It is literally the lifeblood of the stream. If you like this stream and you want it to keep going, like anonymous healthcare friend and other people who have gifted today, it's the way to do it. So know that I'm very grateful. I love doing this. This is how I keep doing it, is with your generosity. So thank you. Mwah. Thank you, friend. What do you do when you accidentally use the wrong pronouns to someone by accident? Good question, Freddie. You apologize sincerely, but don't linger on it. So if I accidentally call someone he when actually their pronouns are she, her, I would say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's on me, her, or whatever it is. And move on, because you don't want to linger, because then it's just uncomfortable for everyone. Making chicken soup. Kid has a stomach bug. That's unfortunate. All right, are y'all ready for this pizza? Let's try it. Thank you, Shayla. Did you see the video of a woman getting yelled at in a bathroom for being trans, but she wasn't trans? I did, and that was sad. Funny in a very dark and sad way. Of like, wow, look at what this world has come to, and how dumb are the people who did that. Like, why do you care? All right, here we go, y'all. Look at this salad. It's like a salad. It's onions. I think that's fennel. I think the artichokes are on top. They're like kind of cut up though, so you can't really see it. Mm. Wow. I'd be shocked if my makeup isn't all over my face right now. Wow. It's not what I was expecting at all. It really is it's one of those pizzas that really is like a salad on top of a pizza. It's a salad on top of a pizza. I'm usually not big on Italian dressing, but I think more or less that's what it is. But it's very good. The truffle is very light. The acidity of the salad dressing, the kind of like light spiciness of the arugula, and the creaminess of the Parmesan and the sauce all come together to be like a very flavorful bite. It's wonderful. There's also like a lemoniness to it. Better than red sauce. I mean, I love red sauce too. Thank you, Care Bears. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. It's its own thing. Thank you, Sora. Is it like a flatbread more than a pizza? I mean, it's definitely not a traditional pizza. But what is a traditional pizza? Because pizza comes in all shapes and sizes. There's Neapolitan. Am I saying that right? Just like, like the Italian style pizzas. There's American style pizzas. There's California pizzas. There's Detroit. There's deep dish. St. Louis style. There's a million different kinds. This is another kind. So is it like something that you would get at, say, Domino's? No. But it's good, and I call it pizza. What do you do whenever someone purposely discriminates against you? Probably pull out my camera so I can show the world that it's happening. That's why there's videos of me when people are harassing me on the street. Best pizza in San Francisco, there's a couple. Tony's is the canned answer. Gioia pizza is really good. But really, the margarita pizza at Tony's is untouchable. It's so good. Why do you treat your servers poorly? I really don't know if I will ever live down that incorrect assumption about myself. I think I'm pretty dang nice to servers. I think. I'm friends with a lot of servers, specifically the ones on this stream, because I go back to restaurants often. I don't know. Decide for yourself, but you tell me. Why did I choose the name Lily? I just loved it. Does it hurt your feelings that other trans creators don't like you? Sometimes, but also a lot of trans creators do like me. We got another gift, y'all. Oh my gosh, this is a really nice gift. Wow. Okay. They said their name in the gift, so I'm going to read it. Yo, Carol Ann sent $30. 30. That is a lot of money. And Caroline, I think you're here, Caroline. Would you like me to try to read it in a Scottish accent? I will. I can't promise it will be good. But would you like me to try to read your message in a Scottish accent? I think I want to, but I just want to make sure. Mm. Mm. All right, there's Caroline. All right. I got to warm up to it. Mm, mm, mm. I studied in Scotland for a semester. Right then, just a little something to fill the tank. You are a truly beautiful soul who never fails to make me smile. Much love from Scotland, from Caroline in Scotland. Heart emoji, heart emoji. How'd I do? Was that okay? Eh? Where in Scotland? Glasgow. Glasgow. Fit is doing. Not bad. I'll take it. Honestly, I will take not bad because I never do that accent. I think it's one of my favorite accents to do. I love a Scottish accent. Glasgow. Is it? Glasgow. It's been a while. It was 10 years ago I was there. But thank you very much, Caroline. I appreciate you. I love Scotland. I mean, I really enjoyed my time there. Even though it was constantly gray and rainy, I still really look back on that time fondly. I think Scotland's a lovely country. I think y'all have I don't know. There's something about Scotland that, no offense to my UK people, I might go to Scotland before I might go there first. I don't know why. If I were to go to one, I'd go to both. But I just love Scotland. Anyways, thank you, Caroline, for putting gas in the tank. Please, if you're subscribed, throw some gas tank emojis up. These gifts go such a long way to making this stream happen. Again, if you're someone like Carol Ann who likes this stream, a $30 gift is a huge amount. It keeps the stream going. It is literally gas in the tank. It's the reason I can do this technically 8 times a week. Love you. Thank you, Carol. Cheers. Thank you, B Mama. Do I get offended when queer people reject me? Not all queer people reject me. Some do. First off, most queer people don't know who I am. Those who do, some people have no opinion on me. Some people don't like me. Some people do. You got to remember that because, I don't know. If I didn't have allies, I wouldn't be doing this. If no one liked what I had to say, I wouldn't be doing this. I'm not here to just, as you like to say, rage bait. Thank you, Caitlin. If I was here to rage bait, just say crazy stuff for a reaction and views, I wouldn't be doing this. I probably wouldn't be streaming. I bet there's a better way of doing that. Victoria says, do I believe in God? I would say I'm agnostic. I don't really have, I don't feel strongly one way or another. I know my lipstick, is it doing well? Wow. I'm impressed. I did go to college, yes. I went to McAllister College. Can I pray for you? Can I ask before I say yes? Would you be praying for me? In what would you be praying for me? Like how would you pray for me? Because if your prayers, not to assume, but if your prayers would be anything like, I hope he realizes he's a man or something like that, please don't. Not that, need the exact shade. Okay, hold on. Hello, Caitlin. Do I believe animals can be trans? No. as animals don't have the complex social systems that we do. This is shade 325 Shot Color, and it's a Super Stay Matte Ink for 325. For those of you who are complaining about the smacking, why are you here? Just leave. Do I answer my messages? I don't. I'm sorry, Aliana, but please ask the question here because I would love to answer it. Am I still getting bottom surgery? Yes, I am. You need my eye color. Oh, thank you. Why do you make being trans literally your whole personality? Biting criticism. If you think that the only thing about me is that I am trans, you probably don't watch these streams very often. Sure, I talk about it online a lot because that's a big part of what I use my platform for. But transness is not the only thing that defines me or any trans person. People just like to hate. I agree. What am I eating? This is a whipped artichoke pizza. It's quite good. It's kind of like a salad on top of a pizza. Mm. Mm. Thank you, Bree. Mm. Of course, Lauren. How am I feeling in the recovery process? Definitely better than I was like a month ago. To be fair, it is the only thing I've seen you discuss when I come across you. Fair enough. I talk about it a lot, but just because that's what you see doesn't mean that's the only thing I'm ever think or talk about. I do a lot of stuff. I play video games. I hang out with my friends. I have a dog. I play the guitar. I like to go on walks. I go to restaurants. I got hobbies. I got other stuff. Yeah. What made me decide on being poly? Just something I'd always kind of been interested in. But as time goes on, I find myself like looking for a primary partner with maybe some like dalliances on the side. What games do I play? Currently, Valorant, Balatro, and Returnal are my three. Scaraway, Vicky, Scaraway. Thank you, Tidia. What did I study at college? Media and cultural studies. This is the main, I think. Hello, Elvia. Restaurant recommendation? Sure. What part of town and what kind of food? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Savannah. Sonny says, I don't understand. The physical features of a woman can be trans, but what about the emotional side? What do you mean by that? You want an open relationship? I feel like I'm open to a primary partner and like secondary partnerships outside of that. I need more experience before I can really like lock in what I want long term, but that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Thank you, Chelsea. No, I'm single. Cimarron. Reading. Sure. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Very ladylike. I'm assuming that you are being facetious. Twisting ties. How do trans have blank? Like anyone else. What have I had so far? Ask E. I've had my cake pops removed, and I've had my face done. That was recent. The face was recent. Cake pops were a couple summers ago, 2023. I think I missed your first comment, Dill. Can you say it again? Do I find guys attractive? No, sorry. Like my lipstick shade? Thank you. Hi, Carly. Is this the entree? Yeah, but we're going to get dessert too. I'm shocked that my lid is still on. Hello, Bailey. Mr. Nugget's doing great. Oh, you know what, Dill? I literally just bought that the other day. It arrived the other day. I have it. I have that exact book. That's so funny you bring that up. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my bookshelf, ready to go. Is it still there? That's crazy. Would you say you're a lesbian? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You like women? Oh, yeah. I do like women. Mm-hmm. Don't I have a daughter? No. I have a son. His name is Nugget. He's wonderful. Um, have you been educating children lately? My content is not aimed at children. That being said, if they happen to see it, sure. The content on my main feed, that is. Um, how big is? Do I have any plans for kids? No. Hello, banana bread. So you're a lesbian? Do you date women? Yes. Do you find your sapphic energy is a bigger part of your personality than your trans identity? I don't know. That's a tough question. Like, it's hard to like think about what is the biggest part of my personality. I don't know. I don't know. Do you plan on getting married? I'm not opposed to it. What was the drink? This is a Phony Negroni, so it's a mocktail. Would I be opposed to having kids? Yes. Why did you disappear from TikTok for a few months? I needed a break, so I disappeared. Kindly, would you like to pass so well no one could tell I was trans? I mean, I would still tell people. I'm not ashamed of it. Hello, J Turbo. So you're a trans lesbian, correct? Transbian is the way you could say it. It's a common abbreviation. Mm. This pizza is real good. How old was I when I knew? 27. What is a trans lesbian? It's a trans woman who is a lesbian. A woman who's interested in other women is a lesbian. You could be a cis lesbian. You can be a trans lesbian. You're one or the other. What kind of pizza? It's a whipped artichoke pizza. It's easier to see there's some artichoke on this piece. Am I bi? Nope. I'm not interested in men. How come I don't want children? I just don't. I just don't. Where are we today? An Italian place. Sorry, Nate. Can you? I think you might be getting filtered. Can you ask it in a slightly different way? Sounds good, Dill. Just so you know, I'm very slow, and it might take like I might like pick it up in 2 months, but I have it, so I'll hopefully get to it eventually. Um, why don't you call cis women just women? Why don't you call vanilla ice cream just ice cream? Because vanilla describes the ice cream. Cis describes the woman. Chocolate describes the ice cream. Trans describes the woman. It's an adjective that modifies a noun. You can be a cis woman, you can be a trans woman. They're both women. Vanilla, chocolate, both ice cream. That's why. It's just adding detail to what you're saying. Specifying. I am a woman. I am a trans woman. Am I going to change my voice? No. You hate me? I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, Bar Sprezzatura. Y'all got it. Come get me. Am I interested in trans men? No, I'm sorry. I'm not interested in men. No offense to trans men or cis men. No offense whatsoever. I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in men, period. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Are cis women just biological women? No. Biological women, that term is not really, first, it's not respectful because it implies that trans women are like less than. Biological implies, but it's like the true form of a woman, right? Biological, right? It's like, that means that, well, if you're not a biological, what are you? Is it that you're faking it? No, that's not true. Trans versus cis. These are the words that are, they're on equal footing. They don't imply there's one type of woman that's better or worse, right? We're all on the same footing. Yeah. Thank you, Mickey. I use women's bathrooms, yes. Why don't I change my voice? Because I like my voice. Did I lose weight? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I've lost some weight. Do you know what passing means? I do. Do you? Do you prefer to be asked on a date or be the one to ask? I'm open to either. I've asked people on dates, and I love when people ask me on dates. All right. I think we're going to go back to sub only. Once again, if you'd like, ask a question or call me a name or whatever, you can subscribe. It's $2.69, and it helps a lot. It really helps me do this every day. Or if you want to say something mean to me, it really doesn't help. I hate it when you subscribe. God, it's the worst when people subscribe at $2.69. They can talk for a month. It's the worst. Oh, thank you, Amy. I see a major confidence change since surgery. Thank you, Allie. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's the worst when people send me gifts and support my full-time content creation so that I can do this every day. Gosh, it's so awful. Oh, thank you, Tammy. That's very sweet of you as well. I know I love when people ask me on dates. Like, I'm always going to say yes, but it's flattering nonetheless. Yeah, definitely we don't do that. Yes, definitely don't do that. Hate comments, we definitely don't want that. Definitely don't subscribe to say something nasty. That would be the worst. Color, the lipstick is Maybelline Matte Ink number 325. Thank you, Brittany. What's my dream date? I love a restaurant. I love a dinner out. I love going out for dinner. Let's go out for dinner. Dinner and dessert. Especially if there's like good dessert at the restaurant or a good dessert nearby. Thank you, thank you, Allie, for the diamond microphone. If you ever need more mods, I can help. Thank you, Savannah. And thank you, Trio. I'm all about it. It doesn't need to be fancy, but I like a romantic dinner. I like going to restaurants on and off stream. It's wonderful. I love trying new food. I love being in a restaurant. It's lovely. Oh, your lipstick is the guy. It's Maybelline number 325. Maybelline Superstay number 325. Thank you, Kirsten, for subscribing. Opa, cheers. Thank you. Biggest turn off in a partner? What's the opposite of being kind? If someone is mean-spirited, I'm not interested. The number one thing I look for in any partner is kindness. And if that's not their vibe, I'm not interested. Family, yes, it's filtered. I'm sorry, Nay. If you keep saying so, I'm not seeing anything. Do you wish that? Okay. Kristen says you said my name on the right try. On the first on the right try, that's rare. Oh, great. Do I wish that I was closer to my family, like geographically closer? Sure, because hateful, yes, definitely, Alexandria. I mean, I wish I was closer to them geographically because I would see them more often, but also I really like living in San Francisco. So if I were to move closer to them, I don't even know where I would move because I'd be on the East Coast. No matter what, it would probably be, I don't think there's anywhere I could live that's close to them where I'd be excited about. I just don't want to live in the South. Yeah, so like, yes, I want to be closer to them, but no, I don't want to be in that area. There's 3 places in my mind in the United States. Oh, I love living in San Francisco. I could see myself living in LA, even though I'm not a big fan of how much driving you have to do in LA. Okay, I'd do it if I had to. LA's got a good queer community. There's a lot going on there in terms of like content creation stuff. I think I'd be okay. Maybe even better than SF. I don't know. I could see myself in New York City because it's also a metropolis in that way, but it can be kind of cold, and I'm not a big fan of cold. So New York would probably be 3rd on the list. Beyond that, Atlanta's, I'm just thinking of major cities. Yeah, LA traffic I'm not excited about. Southern hospitality is a thing. It's not terrible. Well, I lived in the South for the majority of my life, so I understand Southern hospitality. But the problem, even living in Atlanta or, like Nashville or one of the bigger cities, is that you're still like a blue dot in a red ocean. And I feel less safe there in general. LA is great. Okay. Vegas, maybe. I don't know. I've only been to Vegas once. I'm not sure. Southern hospitality typically extends to only certain types of people. Australia, sure. I don't know enough about the rest of the world. to make a comment, but it would probably be like SF and LA are kind of like the two ideals, and then New York as a third option. If I had to pick a fourth, I'm trying to think, maybe like a. I don't think I'd want to live in the Pacific Northwest because it's so like cold and rainy up there. Somewhere where it's relatively warm, not too cold. Jillian, I don't think you're not muted, but I think you're getting filtered. If you had to pick one country, I would love to just to visit Japan to go to Tokyo Disney. I would love that. I would love that. I don't know if there's a fourth city. Chicago's way too cold. Any of the Midwest states are either too conservative or too cold. I don't want to live in Texas. Vegas, you know what? Sure, I'll say Vegas. Vegas number 4. Because at least Vegas is warm. I'd rather it be really hot than really cold. I could see Boston's too cold. I just don't want it to ever dip below 40 degrees. Ever. I don't need... I lived in Minnesota for 4 years. I went to college there. I lived in St. Paul. And I just can't. I'm not built for the cold. I don't like having to put on so many layers and like constantly be tense, and it's just not for me. New York is cold, yeah, and sometimes it's hot, but also sometimes it's cold. But I'd be okay. I'd be okay in New York. I'd be okay because it's not like usually it's not negatives in New York, right? New York City, at least. I don't think so. I don't know. For someone wanting to visit the States, where would you suggest to go? You can't go wrong with New York City. New York City is great. Possibly Canada. Are there warmer parts of Canada? New York City, I think, is a great first place to visit. I also really like, San Francisco and Los Angeles. I don't know much about Los Angeles, but San Francisco is great too. Should I get a Chicago dog or a hot Cheeto Korean corn dog? Wow. I'd probably go for the hot Cheeto. Rochester, Minnesota. Ugh. The wind hurts our face. Yeah, no thanks. Toronto. I would love to go to Toronto. I'm currently watching Top Chef Destination Canada, and it's great. I would definitely go to Toronto, but I'm assuming they film during the summer. So, Lily, if your personality were a color, what color would it be? I want to ask y'all that first because I don't know. Hot Cheeto dog. That's where I'm leaning, but it requires driving. Sure. Y'all, we had a really generous gift come through. Red. Okay. It says red. We had a troll send me $1.50 to say something rude, which is great because most of the time people say rude things for free. Yeah, I think red is about right. Turquoise, yellow. What's Top Chef on? I watch it on Peacock while I'm biking every morning. You adore... Oh, yeah, Brighton. I would love to visit Brighton when it's warm. I have a friend that lives there. What color... My color. Although, you can tell me what your color is. Lavender? Purple, pink. I could see red. I could also see pink, like a pastel pink. I guess that's just my favorite colors. But sky blue, like a summer sky, no clouds type of blue, brings happiness. Thank you, Kaylee. Speaking of bringing happiness, oh my gosh, y'all, can I say that person? Can I say your name? I don't want to call you out because sometimes when you send gifts, especially of this size, okay, just know I highly recommend you turn off your DMs because especially a gift of this size, which I'm so grateful for, the trolls will be in your DMs, I promise. But I just want you to know that. Y'all, this is from Kaylee. Kaylee, Kay, uppercase Lea, Kaylee. Kaylee sent $50, y'all. And thank you, Q or K, for the roses. Kaylee sent, thank you so much. Okay.
If you need anything.
15 minutes?
In a half hour.
Could I order dessert first?
Oh, yeah.
What is the pistachio cake?
Pistachio cake, there's the tiramisu, but I think that's got no.
Yeah.
Top of page 4. The other one I like is kind of our hidden dessert one. To scoop of the vanilla bean gelato, and then we take rosemary salt, shaved parmesan, a little olive oil, and balsamic on there.
I'll try that.
Okay.
Perfect.
At first I was like, Chef, he's like, just eat it.
Okay.
Cheesecake. I get cheesecake.
Great.
It's amazing.
Perfect.
Okay.
A hidden dessert. Thank you for all those roses, friend. Kaylee sent $50. Y'all, that's a huge gift. That is a huge gift. This is every gift goes a long way. Every gift goes a long way. When you send $50, you're putting us in a place where, like, at this point, we ordered a pizza and a mocktail. That's more or less 50, depending on tip and stuff. That's a lot of money. Especially, thank you, Kaylee. I know that's not how it feels, but like, I find it kind of I'm on a screen, right? Like, at least from your perspective, I could be an AI. I'm not, but like, I just find it so humbling, I guess is the word, of like, wow, this person, Kaylee, who's super sweet, likes this stream enough and enjoys the stream enough to support it in a way where they send $50. That's really, really warms my heart. It is such a lovely affirmation of this stream. It tells me, yes, Lily, this is good. We like this. Please keep doing this. And me, who likes doing it, it amplifies, right? It's like a positive feedback loop of, I like doing this. They like that I'm doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. And it just gets better and better because we're like, both happy. So know that I'm super grateful. Thank you, Amanda, for subscribing. I'm happy you're here. And let me read this message. They said, you are the best part of my day. Dang, thank you. I hope you have a great weekend with I need a name for this emoji. It's like the party popper. It's like the little cone that has the confetti popping out of it. And a purple heart emoji. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kaylee. How long have you been watching, if you don't mind me asking? And while we're waiting for that response, you keep distracted from the... Yes, please do. We have another gift that came through. Okay. All right, so this one is also from Jill. Jill is here again since last week. Wow. Well, dang, Kaylee. That's really cool. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the lovelies. Thank you for being here. It's date night here with hubby, and I feel safer in this space, your stream, than home. That is a high compliment. I really appreciate that, Deja. That's so sweet of you, Kaylee. Okay. This is from Jill, all right? It says, it's Jill, and they sent $10. Thank you, Jill. They said, I have one more question. You got it. Do you think you get most of this hate because you're a woman, or do you think that transgender men get this kind of hate? First off, I'm actually a transgender woman, so I can kind of understand how you might swap those terms. I'm a transgender woman, someone who transitions from female to male, right? So I identify as a woman. That makes me a transgender woman. Someone who transitions female to male would be a transgender man. So do you think transgender men, you mean women, do you think transgender women get this kind of hate? Or is it just because I'm a woman? Specifically, is it my transness that gets the hate that I get? I think it's mostly, look, yes, absolutely. Women in general are the subject of unspeakable nastiness in this world over the course of history and in the modern day. Unquestionable. And there are people out there, cisgender women out there, who get the same kind of hate that I do, right? And there's a solid chance it's because they're women. I think the kind of hate that I get is very specific to my transness. And I also think that you throw in there, wow, thank you so much. You also have to throw in, people don't like that I'm unwilling to voice train. People don't like that I am very confident and strong-willed. Because when they disagree with me, I am not afraid to tell them that they're wrong. Some people see my tone as, like, especially the people who disagree with me, see my tone as condescending, right? If you agree with me when I say things, then you're like, yeah, girl, you tell them. But if you don't, I can see why you would think that, like, I'm speaking down to you, because ultimately I am. Thank you, Dee Dee, for subscribing. Cheers. People don't like people standing up for themselves. Yeah, and it's like, if you believe that trans kids don't exist, I will speak to you like you are 7 years old, because, or like, I guess, a baby, because that's a foolish thing for you to think and say. And if that makes you feel small, maybe rethink that take. Hello, Dee Dee. So, anyways, I hope that answers your question, Jill. I hope that answers your question. Y'all are being so sweet today. The gifts keep coming. So nice. Y'all take care of me. I love y'all so much. This is from someone whose name starts with a C. Let me know if I can say your name. It does. You didn't mention here explicitly that I can say it or not. But they sent $5. Thank you so much. And said, I feel like your color is amber. Amber to me is calming, warm, and peaceful, which is the vibe I get from you. You are a beautiful human with a yellow heart emoji. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what. It's a big compliment to say that I'm calming, because I don't think I'm calming. At least in let me. I don't know. I'm not sure how old you are. If you will get this reference, but there is a scene from a SpongeBob episode where there is just like 7 different clones of SpongeBob running around a room that's on fire, screaming like, ah! And that's what it feels like in my brain sometimes. Sometimes I can be calm, but I'm a very anxious person. So, anyways, I'm glad that I give off amber. On these streams, I am probably the most at peace and least anxious I ever am, because there's so much to think about in terms of like all the comments coming through and trying to think through what I'm saying while reading and eating and maintaining all this stuff, all these things to juggle. It's almost impossible to think about what happened this morning or what's happening tonight. It's just the present. So it's kind of like it dulls all of the anxiety, which is one of the reasons I love streaming so much. So. Anyways, thank you very much for that gift. Jill says I'm calming. Kate says I'm level-headed. Thank you. Kaylee says I'm a comfort creator. Thank you. This is ice cream. This is a dessert I didn't know existed. It's off the menu. Exactly, Trio. Exactly. This is an off-the-menu dessert we haven't had before. It's a scoop of vanilla gelato with shaved Parmesan on top. Y'all, this is a week for weird ice cream. If you weren't here on Monday, we had an anchovy sundae. It was bad. Vanilla gelato, Parmesan, rosemary salt. Y'all know, I'm not a big fan of rosemary, but I'm trying to broaden my horizons. And balsamic drizzle. One more time. Vanilla gelato, rosemary salt, shaved Parmesan, and balsamic. And our server said, I get it. It sounds weird, but it's so good. So let's try it. Right, Trio? Lactose intolerant nightmare. I'm lucky to be mostly accepting of lactose. My body is like usually cool with lactose. Usually. If I drink like a whole big glass of milk, my body might be upset, but usually I'm good. I did have my mean already. All right, here we go. Get a good amount of parm on there. I want to get the ratios right, because I don't want to just eat a mouthful of Parmesan cheese. I feel like that will spoil it. Okay, this seems about right. Here we go. So, I know it's not. It looks like shaved coconut. It's not. It's Parmesan cheese. The server said that it reminded him of a cheesecake flavor. So I'm going to close my eyes for this. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's wonderful. I see what they mean by cheesecake. The Parmesan, so the vanilla gelato is the focus. That's what you're mostly tasting. It really is like just a little bit of that cheese coming through, a little bit of that herb, a little bit of the balsamic. just enough to suggest they're there, but not so much to overpower the ice cream. Banana bread. Let me take another bite. The heck? Oh, and the rosemary salt. That's another thing. I don't even really taste the rosemary, but the salt I taste, which gives it that little bite, like that touch of savory. It doesn't taste like locker socks at all. This is wonderful. I will order this again. This is not just like it's like, I see what you mean, but it's not for me. This is great. I'm between two scores right now. Hello, Vleety. How are you? Like, I'd eat this. Okay, I got a lot more of the balsamic in that bite. Got to be careful, because if you get too much of anything, then it veers away from its intended flavor. You need to have just a little bit of balsamic. I think you could have a good amount of Parmesan on each bite, and it still tastes really good. Oh. Uh-oh. Wow. That's really good. Okay, so out of 10, I'm going to give this a 9.5. Only because if you get a little bit too much balsamic, it can throw the balance off. But otherwise, incredible. Like, I was thinking 10, but it's a 9.5. Might have to text. What do you mean, Kaylee? To try it, maybe? To you, now that I'm done being everyone's secretary, I can watch you. Actually, could you take notes on the stream, please, Liz? I'm kidding. Spillage. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think a single stream has gone by when I haven't spilled something on someone. Yeah, definitely recreate it. Not a hard, as long as you have access to good gelato, not a hard thing to recreate. Parmesan cheese, fresh, shaved. Balsamic, as long as you got good balsamic. A little bit of rosemary salt. Probably have to make that yourself. It was great. Okay, out of y'all here, who would try this? I do need a bib. Who would try this? And who would not try it? I want to do a poll. Smile if you would try this. And this can also be the people who aren't subscribed. Smile if you would try it, frown if you wouldn't. Most of you would. Yeah, it's a vanilla ice cream, but it's also balsamic and Parmesan cheese. Vanilla gelato, shaved Parmesan, balsamic, and rosemary salt. Mark couldn't try it. Chris wouldn't try it. Let's see. Yeah, Chris wouldn't make it in my Ninja Creamy. Maybe I will. Okay, more of you would than wouldn't. I love cheesecake. I mean, it definitely gives... It's not like exactly cheesecake, but it does kind of harken to a cheesecake. Thank you, Lon. This is wonderful. I can't believe it took... I'm going to give my server a little... I'm gonna admonish my server. Y'all want to watch me be rude? Hi there. I'm doing so good. Could I have the check, please? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Not that server. I don't know that server. Because the other server's on break. But y'all want to see me be rude to a server? Get ready. I'm going to go up to my server and say, how dare you keep this dessert a secret from me? I've known you for like 1.5 years, and you've never brought this up. You never mentioned this dessert. I'm literally licking the bowl clean. How long? This is an off the menu thing, right?
It is, yeah.
How long has it been off the menu?
We had it as a special, and
Okay.
It's been a couple months now.
Okay, so the first time it existed was a couple months ago.
Yeah, and it was a special for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then now we just do it for the people that know of it. And
I'm just saying, like, bring it back.
Put it on the menu.
Bring it back. It's good. Do you like it?
For sure.
I get it.
No,
I get it.
For some people, it is like the most amazing thing. No, and I get it too.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Chef Joe definitely knows what he's doing with his flavor.
Chef Joe?
Yeah.
Tell Chef Joe that he's doing something special back there.
He definitely is.
Chef Joe needs to know.
I'll let him know.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. God, I really, really gave it to that server. Ugh. I told that server. Thank you, Jill, for subscribing. Missed that. God, that server's going to regret it. Ugh. They're going to regret ever. Yeah. Yeah, hats off. So, chef. I think Joe. It could have been Joel. I think it was Joe. Joe. I have to triple check. But yeah, Chef Joe doing something. I'd recommend that to anyone. Even that server, who again is not our main person. Our main person's on break. They didn't say they didn't like it, but it sounded like this wasn't for them. Thank you. Can I ask one more question?
Yep.
Out of 10, how do you rank this?
I would say like a 7.
Okay, so it's not like you dislike it, it's just not your favorite
It's
thing.
just not my favorite thing, yeah.
Okay, because I'm trying to gauge, like, even someone who thinks they wouldn't like it.
No, it's good. It's my favorite out of all of them is probably the pistachio cake.
Oh, it's really good, too.
Yeah,
that's really good.
So that's why I'm like, okay, this one is good. It's pistachio cake. That's my heart.
Yeah, I'll have to get that next time. Also, can I ask what fragrance you're wearing?
It is going to be the vanilla cashmere from the EOS, the lotion. Or East.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's good. And then it's a salted caramel thing too.
Cool. Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Let's put my card back and we can play the guessing game. God, I really gave it to that server. That server deserves to be spoken to respectfully. You're going to try really hard, Ink Mama? All right. Well, let's see. We got the Phony Negroni, the Artichoke Pizza, and the special Parmesan Balsamic Gelato. What am I going to tip on this? Okay. I'm gonna. Oh no, that was not me being flirty at all. I really was curious about their fragrance. That'll be edited so badly. I know. Hello, Carly. Thank you for subscribing. I know she doesn't deserve a tip. So guess what tip I didn't give her? Thank you, Carly. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for subscribing. Wow, you subscribed to the $10 one. That is very nice of you. Thank you very much, Carly. Welcome. All right, what do we think? I am naturally flirty, but that was not me, like, intentionally flirting at all. Okay. Yes, what did we get? So it was the amount, I probably tipped like 40%, honestly. Closer to 40%, 40%. All right. Give you a minute or so. Let's see. Is anyone within $1? Only guess once, please. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Welcome. I don't know if anyone's within $1 yet. That's okay, but don't guess again just because I said that. Everyone gets one guess, and that one guess only. Someone is still the closest. Okay. Oh, okay. I see who's closest. You're standing by $12.39? I can tell you right now, that's not what it is. All right. Carly, you subscribed and then you won, my friend. Carly guessed $74.99. Pre-tip was $52.97. I tipped 20, bringing it to $72.97. That means that you were what, like $1.50 off? No, $2 off. $2 off, almost exactly. $2.02. It wasn't 12. You know what? You were very close with $12, but sadly, Vlidi, you were what? $60 off. Sorry. Excuse me. Carly, do you know what you win? Do you know what you win? The answer on a Friday is going to surprise you. You might think you know what I'm going to say, but I don't think you do. I don't think you know. The answer might shock you. And that answer? Nothing. Ooh, you know what would be fun is if we got an anchovy sundae. One of those, like, you know when Gene Wilder in Willy Wonka is like, nothing, you get nothing, like him screaming, maybe his face, you know, that'd be fun. You win nothing, but also because I am actually feeling generous today. You win everything. Wow. 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 Sometimes just you win nothing. Sometimes you win everything. Wow. Cheers. Okay, I think we got read all the lovely gifts. So thank you to everyone who gifted today. Thank you to everyone who subscribed today. There is no Discord. I'm sorry, Carly. Discord's been gone for a while now, sadly. As much as I would love to bring the Discord back, it's just doesn't exist. I'm glad to hear that, Maggie. Thank you for watching. Y'all, I know I say this every Friday, but I really, really especially mean it today. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Alyssa says, do I have any plans? Do I have plans? No. Wait, let me triple check my calendar. I'm 99% sure I don't have anything, but I am known to forget. Yep. Nope, got nothing. I might go see a movie. There's that movie, The Amateur, with Rami Malek, that looks interesting. And then there's Drop, the horror movie, which also looks really good. Maybe I'll do a double feature. Probably see Drop before I see The Amateur. I'm working. It's weekend. Then I have a good 3 days off doing nothing. Good for you. Finishing a rock garden. That's cool, Sassy. You too, Trish. Thank you, Kimberly. Oh, I'm glad, Rach. I'm glad you subscribed too. My mom saw Drop the other day and said it was amazing. Good. It looks fun. It looks fun. So I'll definitely see that. Probably play a lot of Valorant. Hopefully get together with a friend or two. That's the hope. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Have a lovely weekend. I will be back on Monday. A small housekeeping announcement before I go. I will be streaming on Monday. I will not be streaming on Tuesday, but I will be streaming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So instead of taking Wednesday off next week, I'm taking Tuesday off. So we're still the same amount of streams, just shifted slightly. So for anyone who needs to plan that, there you go. Are you still doing Twitch? TBD, maybe. But no Twitch next week. No Twitch next week. In fact, next week, you'll see. You get bored when I don't see you. Sweet of you, Kimberly. Why would you do this to us? The end of the world. I know. Look, I don't do well with changes of plans either, which is why I want to give you as much time to get ready for it. Take that as a maybe. Gotcha. Oh, thank you, Jill. I like my hands too. Super busy today. I hope you get some time to just relax. Chill. Like I'm about to go do. Give Nugget some snuggles. Okay, everyone. I love you. Thank you again for hanging out. And until... Someone just took a weird picture of me. Until next time, it's okay. They were, I think, just wondering why I had a tripod out. Anyways, until tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday, stay lovely.